So I just realized that I'm able to make videos, start recording videos and take photographs using this, which is the little Sony tripod thing that I bought as a little addition to my camera. I didn't have enough money to buy one of them DJI Ronin things, but did get this. And yeah, it's pretty nifty actually. I can zoom in and zoom out. Oh, actually that would be nice. If I have an important point to make, I might just zoom in. Anyway, I'm making this little video because, as I showed you in my last video, which was oversaturated, I know, got my books here, Full Nelson, published by Pendle Press. So I'm going to leave these in the case, so I'm able to dish them out on the launch day, which is 21st of March 2024. Thank you, Cherie, for putting all of this together. Thank you, Luke, for the typesetting and the putting it together. And thank you to Diane Muldowney for the cover photo. I hope there's not too much light shining on it. I'll link it below anyway, so you can see. It is only a limited run of 100 copies for the first edition, and I'm expecting them to all be gone by the end of next week, which was soon after the release date. I only say that because I'm going to give a lot to people that have already requested and pre-ordered them, but I will leave the link below. So Full Nelson, what is it? Why did I write it? Where did it come from? Is it solely mine? So I'll leave a little description below. But during my previous couple of years, I moved back into my hometown, which is Nelson. So I travelled quite to various places all over the world, and when the pandemic happened, which is still relevant today, I ended up moving back into my to my hometown, to my parents' house, which is not actually Nelson, it's Burnley now. My parents moved to Burnley when I was 16 or 17 or thereabouts. But Nelson is the place that I grew up, and it's the place that I became somebody before I left to become somebody else. So Full Nelson, what does it mean? Well, Nelson is obviously the name of my hometown, and when I was young, I remember this wrestling lock. Full Nelson is the name of a wrestling lock, and it's like this inescapable hold that you can't get out of, or maybe you can escape it. I just don't know how to. But Full Nelson. But I also had the idea of like having a full English or a full Scottish or a full Irish breakfast, and Full Nelson worked really well. And when I remember when I wrote it, it just fit perfectly. And sometimes creative decisions come just like that while you're at the page, while you're doing your task. You know, throughout the processes and throughout all the previous decisions that you made, something just sticks out and sticks. So that's where it came from, Full Nelson. So when I did move back into my hometown, I tried to introduce myself. This might go on for a little bit now because I'm realizing I have to give a lot of background. I really wanted to look at my area, at the place that I grew up, through new eyes or through renewed eyes, because I had travelled to a lot of places. I lived in Scotland, which I really revelled in the beauty of the West Coast especially, and in Italy and Spain and in Saudi Arabia, for example, where I experienced the other extreme, which was pure desert life. When I came back, I really had this renewed sense of belonging to this place. This was home, for a lack of a better term. This was home. So I started walking through our little hills, or we call it the Pennines. I walked through our little Pennine hills, climbed up to the top of Pendle Hill, just started exploring it in a way that I never really had explored it before. And at the same time, I was developing some poetry, and I saw a little opportunity, because I have been a writer for a while. I saw this little opportunity, which was to be a resident writer aboard a floating library of short stories. It's called the RV Furor Scribendi. and it was made by artists Heather Peak and Ivan Morrison. I believe that's his name, Ivan Morrison. Peak and Morrison Studios. They have lots of these kind of projects, which I would perhaps I will link them again. Peak and Morrison Studio, and yeah, so I really got to know Heather and the producer of Furor Scribendi, and I ended up doing a small writer's residency on the boat, and it was a really enjoyable experience. And I was called back a couple of times to do a couple of things with the boat. There should be some videos below, and yeah, one of these times I got a training through the RV Scribendi and through a local company called the Super Slow Way, who look after the length of canals through Blackburn to Barnoldswick, I believe it is. And we do lots of cultural engagement activities with the canal. And sorry, I lost my trail of thought. But yeah, I was working with through them, and I decided to write. Oh yeah, I did the helmsman training, or the helmsperson training, and I decided to write a couple of poems dedicated to the Furor Scribendi. So I will leak some of these poems now. So this is one of the poems that I wrote for Furor Scribendi. As I said, it is I think it's the largest short story library in the UK, and it is a floating library, which means it's built on a canal boat. I'm not doing it much justice here. I will link it below. But I did write this small sonnet for them. So, a sonnet for the RV Furor Scribendi. From the neurodivergent hands and mind of Heather Peak, love her or leave her alone. She floats, heavy as heaven, wind through time, pouring culture at ports, mooring to souls. Trustee of canals and rivers, a saint, an artwork and a home, much more than paint, a gallery in her galley, quite quaint, with more galaxies in her heart, quite great. Take off your shoes and hang your coats on hooks. Sit at the writer's desk and write your best. Or chance a look through all the hidden nooks and pick a little book to read in bed. The helm's crew at the tiller start singing, springing off moorings, letting small bells ring. Small Bells Ring is the other name that the Furor Scribendi goes under, and Love Her or Leave Her Alone, Love Me or Leave Me Alone, I should say, is the name of Heather Peak's complete collection of artworks, which I would recommend. So these poems do go through a lot of the canal, and they do take a lot of my learnings of and research and development through the time that I was at Scribendi on the Leeds and Liverpool canal and working with the Super Slow Way. So a lot of them poems, but a lot of these poems also deal with my actual hometown. So, for example, this poem here. Hope it is not too bright. Yeah, there we go. That is in the shape of a weaving shuttle, which is a structure that's built in the center of Nelson. I have another poem like that's quite similar, which is this one. This was written in the shape of the singing ringing tree, which is in Burnley. It's one of the 4 panopticons of Lancashire, if you know of them. I am going on a lot here, and I'm not really getting to the point. So I wrote this poetry collection. It's 24 poems. There were more which I took out and used in other places, or I am still trying to use in other places. So that's where the collection came from. During my residency, my writer's residency on board the Furor Scribendi, I really wanted to look into the town, into its industrial history, into where it had come from, how it had developed into this hub of the north of England, where we dealt with a lot of textiles and a lot of industries like metal, and we were movers and shakers, not only for the industrial world but also for a lot of art that has come out and movements. I think the Quakers were first made here, a religious movement there. I think the Labour Party was first officially started around here somewhere. Do not quote me on that. I'm going to check. I'm going to do some research. Anyway, I am babbling on a lot. So this will be released on the 21st of March 2024, World Poetry Day. And I have a lot more to tell you. I do have a lot more to tell you. However, I'm not at liberty to disclose much information right now. All I can say is that I will be unveiling some more new poems on the same day as the launch, which I have developed with In Situ Nelson, and I'm going to use the poems developed in a full scale along some town centre window displays, and I really want to share those poems with you. However, I'm just not at the right stage. So thank you for following me on this stage of my creative practice here. Just now, I am working on an album. Let me just show you before my phone dies. I'll show you what I do have. So a lot. Let's see this. So perhaps I will do this. Okay, I should have prepared this earlier. Be like the river from the mountain top, catch that downpour and flow gently down. Don't stop, you can't stop. Follow the pines as they rise along rich valleys and climb over hills and slip down again by the city where people will gladly pull pails of water from your side. Amazing. So I've also developing that. I've got maybe 7 or 8 songs, albums, spoken word song type things. I don't really want to call them songs. Let's call them pieces, recorded pieces. I am trying to put that together. I'm just not at the professional level that I want to be at. I'm sure you all understand that this is a development opportunity that I have been given, and I have thrown all of myself into it. And now I have my first official publication. May that go alongside with the poetry display that I will be doing with In Situ, along with the reading where I will meet a lot of local residents, industry professionals, the mayor, the councillors, people like that, and the spoken word album, which I am really excited to finalise. If anyone has any, I'm just putting this out there, if anybody does have any ideas or input that they can give me, I'll be happy to take it on. And if anybody has anything like a soundscape beat or something that I can record with, or somebody wants to collaborate with me in any way, please let me know. You can follow me through my social media, which is at Sincere Intentions on Instagram and Facebook, or Ajaz Qureshi. I will leave them details below as well. And please like and subscribe to the channel because it will help me grow a lot. And this is what I want to do, this is what I am doing, and this is what I will be doing for the foreseeable. Peace, love, and all that jazz.